Hello, trading is closed on March the 18th, 2020. We'll go over our calls. We had two calls from yesterday's pattern, two targets, both of them printed, no resistance over the target. The last three targets from 2017 have now printed. Note how we have support at and just under the lowest target. We have some positive signs to report finally. Here's the percentage of stocks with positive patterns, BP/SPX. Note how as we're dropping, fewer and fewer stocks are participating. They're getting positive signs again. This is a pattern where it typically closes at the low. If we can't close under these lows and even this low, it leads to higher prices unless we undercut this bottom promptly. We also gapped down, hit lower low, closed over all of them. It's a positive pattern. Tomorrow's open is a substitute for today's close. So if we open under here, the pattern's killed. In fact, if we take it out promptly, I consider the pattern killed. But unless that happens, we should see higher prices. During the day, we got an ultimate sell signal that clearly worked. Then MEJT, as we're dropping, says ultimately higher price will print. Says this drop is false. Here's the target. It was met here. We almost always get more with the ultimate signal, and we did. This is a weekly chart. Here's an old TDST line. Support is one bar under the line. You're also printing a bar completely under the lower Bollinger Band. It's a logical place to find support. These were the only three targets from 2017 that hadn't printed. One of them was an ultimate target. Ultimately, these things print. They've all printed now. $2016 still has too many targets, and before this drops over, I think some or all of these numbers are going to print. Notice there are only two ultimate targets here. I only have records here since the end of 2012. These are the only two ultimate targets out of 150 a year, which haven't printed since at least the end of 2012. Out of about 150 of these targets a year. Every target in 2019 is printed, every target in 2018 is printed, every target in 2017 is printed, every target in 2015 is printed. So other than these, you have to go way back to a handful of targets in 2014, just a small handful in 2013, to find targets which haven't printed. Close to this high volume day, that's a peak. Usually when you see a peak, you're close to a low. Well, this finally puts an end to any count which says the bull market still is intact, because that's the end of wave 4. This was the first leg of wave 5, and that's been undercut. So there's no way that I see you can count the bull as being intact, which isn't a shocking revelation. This is a trend line that goes back to 2004. Well before this bull, we stopped right on it. I think it's an important trend line. Unless we gap under it, I expect it to hold. There is wave balance at today's low. I'm counting this as 1, 2, 3. 3 is now 1.618 times wave 1. If we stop here and go up, there's good wave balance, and we should get a wave 4. It can go over 2,800 and not kill the idea, but I'm not predicting it will. Well, tomorrow's pattern has the early high. It doesn't mean you won't gap down. Number of things I like about today's trade. Gap down, hit new low, couldn't hold them. A pattern which typically closes near its low didn't. Fib target, trend line support, high volume day, bullish patterns. All this is positive stuff. If the bears are going to win again, they have to undercut today's low promptly, ideally by gapping under it. And if they don't, I'm looking for higher prices tomorrow. It's about time. That's today's call.